Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Divine Journey. So, let's see, we're starting up not too long after the last speed build ended. It has been a little bit, I have made some things. I did craft up a few balance shards and some thaumium, which, we got 37 thaumium, because I know we're going to need a little bit of it today, but that should be... Fingers crossed, that should be the last time we have to manually craft thaumium. And let me fix this real quick, because I did mess that up. I have a bad habit of that, like shifting when I'm going through doors and shutting things off. I also moved a few nodes over here. I did finally come across a good Perdito Ignis Air node. So I do have one set up over here. And then over here, I did bring over an Ordo Aqua node. So I'm feeding it to this one. And I think that's the main things. I was kind of just working on some little things like that to get us ready for today's episode. Now, if you did not see the speed build, this is still a work in progress. But we did get a bit of work done on this room and added the shelves. And we're going to be adding labeled Essentia jars up here. Just decorative. So once we have like at least a stack of, or at least 64 of an Essentia type, we'll make a labeled jar and just put it here for decorative purposes. So, and eventually this is going to have some terminals on it and some little things. Then over here, we added in this alchemical construct room, which before too long, this will be fully automated, but not yet, of course. And then if we step out, actually, let's go up this way. The second floor has a bit of work done to it. We actually have the ceiling kind of in. And brought this up a little bit. It's not fully done. The walls aren't in, the rooms aren't added, and all that stuff. And then out here, we spent a bit of time working on the exterior and starting to get that together. So, yeah. We did get a little bit done, quite a bit done in the last speed build, and I'm pretty happy with the progress thus far. We still have to do this section here. I'll have to keep that in mind, try to do that next speed build. But anyways, today we are going to be working on, or continuing our work on thaumic energistics. Now, just a heads up, okay? And I know I mentioned this at the end of the last speed build, because it has started happening this week, like on, I don't know, kind of about the middle of the week it started happening, and I'm having issues with it. YouTube is on the fritz again. They have like an automated system, basically, that flags videos that it finds inappropriate for, certain viewers and stuff like that. It'll flag them where it's not, it's not suitable for all audiences. Okay, YouTube is on the fritz again with their automated system. I hate this thing, and it's gotten worse. Well, not really worse. It's been on and off for the past few months, ever since there was that whole fiasco with a bunch of advertisers pulling their ads from YouTube because of basically, stuff getting ads that really shouldn't have ads, I guess, by their rules. So anything really violent and stuff like that is supposed to get flagged. Well, they've made it a habit of flagging like everything. There was a whole like fiasco it's a couple weeks ago, I think, where their automated system actually flagged a Google video, one of their own videos. Of course, YouTube's owned by Google. Flagged one of their own videos for not suitable. It was just like an ad video that they'd put up. And so, I mean, it's terrible. And so what it's been doing, it's been flagging like every single video that I put out. And so what I have to do is I have to go in, like, it'll flag it once it gets uploaded before I even publish it. And I'll have to go in and request a manual review and then wait for them to finally manually review it. It would be quicker, it's quicker for channels that have a lot of subs, hundreds of thousands of subs or whatever. But a channel of my size, it does take a little while. So sometimes it's fairly quick, a few hours. Sometimes it's a couple days. So if this video is intended to come out about the same time as the speed build, hopefully this weekend. If it does not, I do apologize. I'm kind of just sitting here, like sitting on my thumbs, waiting for them to kind of okay some videos. So just a heads up on that. It's quite a stressful thing dealing with their automated systems. I hate automated systems. I hate whenever you call a place and it's an automated system. I hate automated systems, and drives me insane. Drives me insane. Of course, granted, it's something like YouTube that gets hours and hours, like hundreds of thousands of hours every whatever minute or whatever, however, what time frame, I don't know what the statistic was. I know it's a lot of videos, you know, every day. It would be impossible for any workforce to watch all of them. But anyways, so just a heads up on that. Just a channel update as to what's going on with that. I know I've already had a couple videos that have been late this week, and it's out of my control, you know. Anyways, so with that said, now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead. We're going to be working on thermic energistics today because I would like to start, my main goal for today is to get Essentia kind of automated so that it can pull in. I mean, even if we don't get these automated just yet, that's fine as long as I have the Essentia aspect of it automated. That's kind of the biggest thing. And we're going to start with Percantio, okay? Because Thaumium, balance shards, both of those take Percantio, and it is something that we do utilize quite a bit. So I do want to go ahead and get that automated. Now, if we take a look at Percantio, okay, right here, and hit U on it, we can see everything that has Percantio. Now, what I'm thinking that we're going to do is, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to use Nether Stars. And the reason being, it's 8 Percantio. It also covers our Alienus, our Ordo, our Lux, our Superbia, and our Infernum, or whatever that little devil symbol is. It covers that stuff, and we've already seen that we need that Infernum and that Superbia. We need Ordo, we need Percantio, Alienus, and Lux. Well, Lux we will need quite a bit. Alienus, we do use it from time to time. I did notice some recipes, and we've had some recipes that use quite a bit of it. We generally have a lot of it from cooking up ender pearls, but I believe ITER, let me double check and make sure that ITER we have some other good source. I'm fairly certain that we do. Like oak fences. Oak fence gates would be perfect for ITER. Oak fence gates, easy, and we get a couple other aspects. So that's what we're going to start looking at, is how we can kind of, you know, we will probably have some overlap, but our goal is to not have a ton of overlap, okay? So Percantio, and we've already got that slotted in here. Now, I do not have the other aspects that are going to be coming from this, but that's fine. We'll get that sorted in just a minute. So let's go ahead and take a Nether Star, and I'm going to go ahead and just cook one of these up, just so that we can get kind of the Essentia slotted. That's our first goal, because I am going to have to make a few more storage drives for that. So I tell you what, I'm actually just going to empty this out at last. Do we have, what is that, Machina? I'm going to call it Machina. I think it's Machina. It's basically what it is. Machines. We do have it. I think it's, were we using it for, yeah. Okay. Go ahead and snag that. Okay, so let's throw another star in there. Now, like I said, you can use aluminum in this to make it faster. I'm not too concerned about that, personally. Speeds, not that big of a concern with an automated setup, I don't feel like. I mean, when it comes to later on, whenever we start automating obsidian, there's a point where speed's going to be important, but this stuff's not going to be important for it to be like just super crazy over the top fast. Okay, so we've got that going. Let me get some warded jars. I'll just use these regular warded ones for now. But I figured Nether Star is a very effective way to get a lot of the Essentia types that we're going to need, so that. And there's going to be Percantio. Let's see, we should have Ordo. That's field, though. Here's Ordo, that's not field. Lux, Percantio. Okay. So we got that all set. Now, in here, if we take a look, we've already got Percantio. So I'm just going to go ahead and just dump that in there. We don't need that. We don't need to set up a jar for that. Also, Alienus, we've got that. So we'll go ahead and dump that one out as well. Now, these other four, we have Lux, Ordo, Superbia, Infernus. What did I call it? Infernum. Close enough. So we do have to set up some storage disks for those. We're going to do it just like we did last episode. I'm not going to craft a bunch of these on camera, but we will start off by crafting one of these. Let me get my wand. I love this wand, by the way. Like, it feels like you can craft just so much stuff before it runs out. It's wonderful. Okay, so I want Essentia. We've already got 13 4Ks. Isn't 4Ks what we're using? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're using 4Ks. I forgot I ran out of thaumium was why we couldn't finish making those. Okay, so I want 1, 2, 3. We need warded glass. That's fine. Oh, we're out of great wood. We'll automate that whole process of making great wood planks and all that. We'll automate that before too long, but basically once we're ready for it, once we actually need it. So there's 8. Okay. And Essentia 4K sale. There we go. Alright, and then I just want to partition these. I want to say this one is going to store only Lux. And let me go grab some levels real quick, because we are going to need those. I like to have everything kind of sorted and organized and everything. I'll just grab 40 levels. We have like well over 1,000 levels, so I'm not too concerned with it. If it was Project Ozone, we would possibly run through those because of the price of powered spawners. But in this pack, powered spawners aren't just crazy over the top ridiculous. So I thought that was a cool feature in Project Ozone, but it's also one that I can happily deal without. Okay, so then we got Ordo in this one. And I'm just kind of going through and naming all of these. So there's Ordo. This one has Superbia. This one has Infernus. Just go ahead and do both those at the same time. Okay, so all of these are sorted now. We have Infernus, Superbia, Ordo, and Lux. And we'll just go ahead and throw these in there like that. And then what we can do is we can take and dump these out. And actually that import bus, I do need to pull that up, but I think that is a visual bug. Okay. There we go. Okay, so my gosh, what is going on with this? There we go. Visual bugs for days. Okay, Infernus, Lux, Ordo, Superbia. Let's see, do we have any of those jars lying around? Because if we do, I want to get them up just to have them out of the floor. Because I am trying to clean this up a little bit in the process of doing all of this. And after today's stuff, I'll be able to set up a lot of the stuff kind of off camera. There we go. Yeah, we have quite a bit of those. I think I was cooking up nether stars for Superbia and stuff last episode or something. There we go. We'll just dump these in there. Okay, there we go. So we got all those sorted into the Essentia terminal. And then what I want to do is let's actually get this import bus here. Let me grab my wrench. Told you we were still going to need these things. That's why I didn't mind making one. And today we're going to be using it. So now what we're going to need to do, let's start off by getting ourselves, I want 2 more import buses. There's a couple different ways. You can actually make this use less channels, but I'm going to use 3 channels. And that's so that I can facade the back, hide things, make it look nice. I want to use actually 3 import buses. Okay, I don't have any of this stuff at all. These I can make 2, 1, 2, like by hand. Then I'm going to need a couple annihilation cores. I'm going to need quicksilver, like 8 of those, I think. Salus Mundus, I'm going to need, what, 4 of those? Now can I make the Essentia import buses? Or the diffusion cores, I mean? There's 1, there's 2. Okay. And then the Essentia import bus, we are going to need a filtered Essentia tube, and that's a V filter. Then we're going to need some warded jars. Bam, bam. Okay. So we got 3 Essentia import buses. Let me get like one more acceleration card. I'm going to put 1 acceleration card in each import bus, I think is what I'm going to do. Okay, so we got those. And this is all just for our first little setup. Okay. Like I said, we are going to be using a lot of channels over there. Some of these could be downsized if you wanted to kind of, you know, set it up in a way it wouldn't look as nice, I don't think. Because you can't facade the pipes. Or you could use thaumcraft golems. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you could do it. Thaumcraft golems, you could just have them take the product and dump it into a central input. But this will be a little bit faster while still looking nice. It's going to use a lot of channels, but that's not really a concern in the least. So we have AE2. It's pretty much infinite channels. So the channel thing is just kind of a, you know, something to keep in mind more than anything, I think. Now we're also going to want an export bus or an interface. I could do it either way, interface or export bus. Yeah, we're going to do an export bus. That's what we're going to do. So let's grab that. And I'm also going to want... no, I don't really need acceleration cards. It's going to export fast enough. It's not going to matter. Since we're not running Alumentum or anything. Export bus. And then I'm going to want... I think I want a toggle bus. Or actually I could just do the export bus. Either one would work. We'll just do the export bus, and then I'm going to want a redstone card. And let me get some insulated redstone conduit. And let me also get level emitters. We never automated those. That's fine. Just these ME level emitters. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we've used these a little bit in the past, but we're going to be using them extensively here. Now, I want to change these over then to Essentia. Oh, it doesn't take... Whoops. For some reason, I was thinking it was ME level emitters, and then you upgrade them to Essentia. Okay. So... this right here, I'm also going to want some Salus Mundus. This is why I made up some balance shards, because this is going to get expensive pretty quick. Salus Mundus is one of those things, I always hate making it. I hate it. Okay, there we go. So essential level emitters, we have 6 of those. And then I'm also going to want a nether star. So I can set up filters. And that's pretty much it, I do believe. Okay, and basically we're going to have a level emitter for every type of Essentia. So it's eventually going to use up a lot of channels. That's like what, I think there's, with Forbidden Magic and everything added that adds the extra Essentia types, it's like 50 or something, different types of Essentia. So that is why, that is the main reason, not just that, but also the imports and exports. That's why we ran a dense cable straight over to here that we can then pump out channels, because we're going to use a lot of channels over here. A lot of it, especially off camera, because I'm going to be doing a lot of off camera work as far as this goes, because it's going to be a lot of setting up the same stuff. Okay, so what I want to do is we're going to go ahead and set up the filters, and then we'll plug it all up with the glass cable. Honestly, this is probably going to use, it is going to use more than 6 channels. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our Essentia import buses, and we're just going to put those right on the back of this. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and just put acceleration cards into each of these. And that's basically so that it can access the Arcane Alembics and just pump the Essentia straight out of the Arcane Alembics. Now, if you wanted to, another way that you can do this, of course, thaumcraft golems can pick it up. Also, if you just put pipes on this, pump it out to like a central input, that works as well. I mean, you could even do this as crazy as just one import location, but keep in mind that those jars are only going to hold one type. If you are going to do that, probably what I would say the best thing to do would be use an Essentia reservoir, so it can actually take different types of Essentia. But also keep in mind that your pipes can only transfer one type at a time. I'm going with this because it facades well, it looks nice, and everything. So, and actually, speaking of, I'm going to go ahead and let's make a facade real quick. So, cable anchors, and I think I'm just going to do void stone. Like this kind, because this kind I don't think actually facades very well. Yeah, see, it actually breaks open. Anything with kind of movement does not do very well. And let me, yeah, whatever, that's fine. 8 of them, that'll work. And so let's go ahead and pull up these alembics for just a moment. And we're just going to put down our cable facades. Let me get some fluix cable then. Okay, we'll just put our cable down just like that so that it plugs in. And then we'll pop over here. We should be able to put our facades on. That. And then we can take our alembics and just put these on. And that looks okay. I think that looks pretty nice. And we've kind of got these kind of hidden back here. So, but they'll be able to access those alembics and pull anytime this Essentia gets filtered up into alembic, it just pulls it right out and dumps it into our system. Okay, so there's 3 channels already. And we haven't even really got started. Now we're also going to want to put an export bus, and this is going to go directly onto our alchemical furnace. So we'll just put that right there. And we'll go ahead and pull out some cable from that. And in this export bus, we're going to say nether stars, and we're going to put a redstone card into this and say redstone mode is active with signal. I think is what we'll do. And then let's also go ahead and just make a crafting card. Now, right now, nether stars are not crafted. Actually, I don't think they'll ever be crafted, will they? Okay, never mind. Not for this one. For some reason, I was thinking of, I don't know what. I don't know. I was almost thinking of a different pack where we could craft the nether stars. Maybe. I don't know. But anyways, we're not going to be crafting them, so we're not going to worry about it there. But some of these later ones, we will probably have crafting cards in them. And, okay, so there's 4 channels already. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and just bring this. No, not yet. I'm not going to bring this over just yet. Because then it's going to start exporting. And then what I want to do is let's just bring down another channel line from here. Let's do like this. And this is going to be our redstone line, basically. And I'm going to need a few, actually, tell you what, let me bring this back one more. Because we're going to have a few things going on here. So I want to have space. So we'll have quite a big space back here behind these. And that's for running the redstone and stuff. Because there is going to be a lot of redstone back here. Basically just essential level emitters, but still. Okay, now we need something to set these essential level emitters. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. Let's get ourselves some files. 6 of those. And I'm going to want to give me Alienus, Infernus, Lux, Ordo, Percantio, Superbia. Okay. Visual bugs aplenty. And keep in mind that these storage discs that we got, these can store up to like 8,000 of each Essentia type. Okay. Now we're only going to be actively storing, like requesting, about 2,000. I think 2,000, honestly it's kind of overkill, but that way, I know this pack has so much like nested crafting that I think keeping 2,000 on hand would be a good supply. You know, I'm trying to keep a good supply of everything in this pack. So that's what we're going to go with. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up our level emitters. And I'm going to do, let's see, how do we want to lay this out? We'll have like this. Now I will say this is going to be one of our larger ones. They're not all going to be, you know, 6 different Essentia type in a single item. But this one, I mean, in this case it is. Because nether stars are just so cheap and easy to make that why not? So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we'll put the last one down like right here. That's fine. Okay, so these level emitters, they're going to be pointing down. And right now it says device missing channel. It should sync up in a minute. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go through in each of these and we're going to put our Essentia. So in this case it's Infernus. And we're going to say 2,000. And emit when levels are below limit. So whenever it's below 2000 in furnace in the system, it's going to emit a redstone signal. Okay, and this activates with a redstone signal. So anytime that we have less than 2000 in furnace in the system, it's going to emit onto the export bus, and it's going to activate it. It's going to start running. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come through and just do this on each of these. So there's another 2000 emit when levels are below limit, alienness, and then 2000 emit when levels are below limit, lux, 2000 for ordo, and then 2000 for percantio, and then lastly 2000 for superbia. Okay, so all 6 of these are activating right now. That's fine, but the reason we have all 6 of these set up is because, of course, we're going to craft with this stuff. And let's say percantio drops, you know, everything's over the 2000 limit, and then percantio drops below. Well, instead of it being based off one specific Essentia type, as soon as one of these 6 goes below 2000, it's going to activate. It's going to say, hey, we need more of that. Make some more. And that's why we have these drives, because I'm going to try not to waste a bunch of Essentia. So I figure if we have drives that actively keep about 2000 stored, but can store up to 8000, everything should kind of balance out over time. I know percantio, we're going to use a lot of it. So it may come down to some superbia and furnace and stuff like that being wasted. But it's going to give us a fairly large buffer. So about 6000 more Essentia of that type will be able to be stored before it has to void it. But we're going to automate the voiding process. So if Essentia types do get filled in these drives, then it'll have a place to dump all the excess and just trash it. Okay? Because honestly, I don't think there's going to be anything that we're going to be cooking down. If there's something that we're cooking down that's actually expensive and we're like, oh, you know, I don't want to waste a bunch of that if we can avoid it, then we might do things a little bit differently. But honestly, nether stars, we're going to be cooking down nether stars, a bunch of that type of stuff. That stuff is unimportant. It is completely unimportant. I can get that stuff in mass so easily. Alright, so then what we're going to do is we're going to take our insulated redstone conduit and we're just going to connect this up to all 6 of these. So if at least one of these is active, then it's going to emit a redstone signal through the conduit, and then we'll just run this down along and just plug it in right here. Okay, so this is now getting a signal. The device can export. Okay, and then what we're going to do is, let's actually break this off for just a minute so we can see it kind of run. Coal, and we will automate coal coming into this in a minute as well. So we're just going to have just a general interface that keeps these filled with coal is my plan. So active with signal. And we'll just run this over like that. Device missing channel. I'm going to wait for it to sync up. Device online. Okay, but right now it is not emitting any nether stars into this. Okay, but then if we were to place this down, pow, it's going to start dropping nether stars in this. These are going to start cooking up. And of course, it's going to have a buffer of 64. I mean, we could limit that, but honestly, I'm not too worried about it, keeping 64 nether stars in here. Like, actually, the nether star generator is off right now, but we have 3,500 nether stars. I may turn it on and let it run for a bit. But okay, so it's cooking down nether stars. And you can see it's got some Essentia type, Essentia right here. You can see there's some ordo. Well, there we go. You see it's going somewhere, right? It's not staying in there for very long. What's happening is it's getting pulled out into our system. So if we take a look right here, we should see some of these start to go up. Yeah, that one just, alienness just bumped up to 195, 196. There you go. So it's starting to kind of fill that up. Now it is going to take it a minute. Like I said, if you want it to be faster, like right now it's going to take it a little bit to kind of rev up the system. If you want it to be faster, what you can do is, of course, you can use alumentum in this. Just kind of automate the process of making alumentum. Very, very simple to automate. Which will be automating the production of some of those things before too long. But you could automate that and have it feed into these. Personally, me, I'm not too concerned about the speed that it's, it's dumping out the stuff, because it's going to be running constantly. So before too long, it'll be at 2,000. It's not a big deal, but... Alright, but that one's running, and it's starting to fill that up, and that's going to be Percantio, which is going to be major for our, continued development and everything, because that's what we're going to need to make thaumium. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up another one next. We're going to set up one more on camera, and then a lot of this. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a master list of all the types of Essentia, and then I'm going to go through and mark off, like, as we add them, to make sure that I don't lose track of anything or whatever. Now, really, if you wanted to, you could do this with one Arcane Alembic, but I'm doing 3 for decorative purposes. Now, not all of these are going to be plugged up with import buses. Some of these are going to be labeled with some random, we'll get into labels in just a minute, with some random Essentia that doesn't come from whatever item we're smelting up, and they'll just be kind of dummy Alembics that don't require an import bus or anything. So let's take a look. I want to start with the... Let me actually dump out our vials here. Okay, that's not... I'm wanting to do core elements first and focus on those, and then we'll expand from there. So what about... we've got Ordo, so let's do Percantio. Or not Percantio. Permutatio. No, not... What am I doing? Not Permutatio. Why can I not think of what it's called? Perdito. Okay. Let's see. What would be the best way to go with the... actually, stone pickaxes. Those make a couple things here. Or cobblestone. That's what we were going to do, is cobblestone. So we're just going to smelt cobblestone for that. That's going to give us Terra and Perdito. Okay. So let's get ourselves 2 more Essentia storage drives. 4K. Boom. Boom. And I'm pretty sure that I have some Terra and some Percantio over here. Put this in there. We're going to say this one is Perdito. And this one is Terra. And we'll just go ahead and name these. And we'll just put those into there. And then what we can do is, of course, take these, dump them, get a visual bug, like every time. There we go. Okay, so, Terra, Perdito, those are both slotted now. Okay, and I swear these visual bugs. So many visual bugs when you're messing with this. And then what we're going to need is we're going to need, well, first up an export bus. So let's go ahead and just grab that. Then we're going to need an Essentia import bus. No, Essentia import bus. Fusion core. We're going to need 2 of these. And our Salus Mundus. And the reason I'm focusing on the primal stuff first is because that's what I need to make balance shards. We've already got the stuff now to make thaumium ingots. That's just Percantio. It's being automatically created. Making thaumium is going to be so much easier now. Even if it is still semi-manual, it's still going to be a whole lot easier than it was. How is that Quicksilver not done? Because I thought I ordered 8 Quicksilver. There we go. To the fusion cores, and then our Essentia import buses. Export to Essentia import, and then we're also... Actually, we're going to want Essentia level emitters. So give me 2 more Salus Mundus. There we go. 2 of those. And how are we doing on balance shards right now? We still have 11. Okay. I was thinking, I can't remember how many we had when we started, but that's fine. And let me go ahead and get some more insulated redstone conduit as well. Okay. And this is going to be a case where we have a dummy Arcane Alembic. It's not really going to be used for importing. And let me go ahead and just see, Spiritus. Snag that, and then let me get a jar so we can pull out that Terra that's in there. There we go. And I'll go dump that in a second. Okay, so let's slip back here. I'll show you how we're going to set up a dummy one. So right now we're using 4 channels, 1, 2, 3, 4 on this line. And then we'll have 1, 2, 3 over here, which will be great. So export bus, I forgot the redstone card. Oops. Is there a... There we go. Let me get our redstone card and a piece of cobblestone. So redstone card. And of course we're not going to need a crafting card. Cobblestone is probably... I think it's what we have the most of anything right now. No, we actually have the most of sand. 1 million sand. Okay. Cobblestone's not quite as high as some of the other things that we've got, but that's fine. Okay, so we're going to say that redstone card active with signal and cobblestone. And then we're going to have an Essentia import bus here and here and some Fluix cable comes down. I'm not going to plug up the export bus just yet. I guess I could. It's not really going to matter at the moment. But we'll go ahead and facade these. There we go. And then what we're going to do to make our dummy alembic, because I don't want anything going into this alembic at all. So what we're going to do, I've made some jar labels. I actually made 64 during the speed build. These are crafted with just slime ball, ink sac, or any kind of dark, dye. And then 4 paper makes you 4 jar labels. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put, let's see, we're going to need a vial. And we're going to say that this takes Superbia. Okay. I don't know which one's which. There we go. And then all we're going to do is we're going to take a jar label and label it Superbia. Okay. And these can be used on jars or arcane alembics. And what they do is they limit what that jar or that alembic can hold to whatever type is on the label. Okay, so all we got to do is take this, stick it right on the alembic, and so it can only accept Superbia. Okay? And if we pop over here to the front, we have that little strong man labeled on that alembic. Okay? The little Superbia man. And so only Superbia can go in that alembic, but since cobblestone does not produce Superbia, of course that's not going to get anything ever. And then what we're going to do is let me get just a piece of void stone so we can clean this up as we go. How's this doing? 261 alienus. 132 per Cantio. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I saw 156 Ordo. That's going to be handy. It's going to be very, very handy. And we'll just put this block right here. Okay. And so if we come around to the front side here, it matches the rest of this. It looks nice. I mean, everything's cleaned up. Okay. And then what we're going to do, this has 5 channels, 6 channels with the level emitters. Okay, now we only need 2 level emitters for this line. Okay, so what we'll do is, and I could do this with channel colors. I'm not going to because I just don't trust channel colors. I mean, they work and they're fine, but I just don't personally trust them. They always make me very weary to use them with redstone. Just because that's just one of my quirks, I guess. So we got 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so we'll connect this ME glass cable. Let's see. Let me actually get a cable anchor. We'll put our cable anchor down right there. We'll bring this Fluix cable down. I do not want it to connect to redstone. Thank you, though. And we'll just bring it down right here. And then what I want to do is we'll put down our Essentia level emitters. One right there. One right there. And I'm going to need something with Perdito in it. So let me get just one of these vials. Grab a little bit of that. And I've still got that jar with Terra in it, so that'll work for Terra. And in this, we're going to say Terra 2000 and emit when levels are below limit. And once more, Perdito, emit when levels are below, and 2000. Okay. And we'll just plug up the redstone conduit like that. It emits the signal into the export bus, and boom, it's going to export cobblestone. Okay. So we plug this up real quick, and here in a second, there's cobblestone. Okay, now in this case, I may want to use an acceleration card right here, because this is fairly slow. Do I not have those? I do not have them on me. Okay. Let me pop over here, because it's going to eat through that cobblestone fairly quickly. Cobblestone does go pretty quick. Let me dump this as well. And acceleration cards. What did I do with all those? I must have used them in something, right? That's right. I put one in each of these import buses. So I am going to need to probably put maybe one in each of these as well. Okay, so there we go. We may not actually even need the acceleration card in this, because it kind of fills up and it takes it a minute. So yeah, we won't actually need that. Now, as for how are we doing on the Essentia that's in this, it is not keeping up. Perdito, Terra are both about filled. So we'll just put acceleration cards, just one in each of these, and it should keep up then, I should think. So if we take a look here, I don't know. Okay, I left it running for just a little bit while I was editing some footage and stuff. And if we take a look here, we've got over 1,000 of Terra and Perdito. Now, I have noticed that if one is running, the other one doesn't run like all the time. Like it kind of eventually backs up. Well, you can say there's only one Superbia in there. Yeah, it's working through that right now. But this one is steadily working through. It's kind of keeping up. This one just recently, I think, kicked back on. It seems like they don't run it like full efficiency when one's running or something. Maybe because there's a essential limit moving through, but that's fine. I mean, like I said, it's going to be automatic. It's going to stop before long, the Perdito is, and it's going to run the other one, and then, you know, if we use stuff, then it's going to kick them back on for a little bit, but it's not really a big deal. I think we'll be a-okay. Now, one thing that we do need to do, we need to automate coal input, okay? Because right now, you know, this one's going to run out of coal before too long. And actually, this one is too. So let's go ahead, and honestly, there might be some we do aluminum. We'll just kind of see. We'll kind of play it by ear. Like the Nether Star one, honestly, I wouldn't mind necessarily having aluminum in that one, maybe. But that'll be a little bit later on, once we get the constructs automated. So what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves just an interface. Very, very simple setup for keeping things stocked. We've done this a few times through the series. So we'll get an interface ordered, and let's get some item conduits. 13 will be fine for the time being. So our interface done. What's it making? I think it locked up or something, because it shouldn't take it but a second to make that. Yeah, see. Already done. Okay. So let's pop over here. Oh, and let me get some... Actually, I'll just steal a piece of... No. Let me grab it out of here. Do I want to use coal or charcoal? Coal, we have 480,000 of it. Charcoal's automatically created. Let's just do coal. I think we've got plenty of it to spare. And what we're going to do is over here, we've actually got 15 channels being used. So we do have one extra channel. Should be on this line, right? So 3, 7. Okay. So what we're going to do is we'll just put an interface down. Actually, I'm just going to put it right here. Just so I've still got my little way to move through here. I mean, that's not blocked and whatnot. So this will be fine. And I'm not too concerned with there being cables running throughout here, because it's going to be hidden and everything. So we'll just put our interface down. We're going to say keep 64 coal in stock. And then right here, we're going to say extract is always active. We're going to run our item conduits down. And we're just going to plug them in. There, do like that. And then we're going to say that you can insert, and if we take a look here, 64, and it's going to build that up to 64. And let's go ahead and say round robin, just for the sake of it. Even though it shouldn't be an issue, I mean, there should be, it takes it a minute to run through any coal, and by that time it's going to have filled everything up. So it shouldn't be too much of an issue for us, but just to be on the safe side. Okay, so that is, I mean, that's pretty well set up. I mean, this is going to run, and like I said, I'll keep expanding on this between this episode and next. You know, just off camera, because it's going to be the same setup, just, you know, different Essentia types that are set up throughout there. Oh, by the way, on these, I did add, let me go around back here. I did go ahead and put 2 acceleration cards in here. I don't know that we necessarily need it, but it does keep them pretty well drained. So, that's fine. I'll just do 2 acceleration cards on each one from here on out. And, I mean, I guess if you wanted to, like, I will say one thing about this, the way I have it set up, is, for example, when when all these Essentias fill up, and it stops running Nether Stars, well, there's still 64 Nether Stars in here, so it's still going to run through those 64 Nether Stars, which is going to put us at about 500 over the 2,000 cap that we're looking at. If you wanted to, you could have the redstone upgrades in the Essentia import buses instead, and have those stop importing instead whenever it gets filled, if you're worried about that buffer. Me, I'm not worried about that buffer. That's why we have 8,000 storage. 500 over that's not going to matter, because it's just going to mean we got 500 to eat through before it kicks them back on. Okay, so that way I've kind of got, instead of it throttling on and off and on and off every time something's crafted, this way it kind of fills up a bit more of a buffer than what we've requested, or what we need to fill it up, and then it can kind of run for a while before it has to kick back on. Okay, I tend to like that setup, but if you like a more precise setup, you could filter, or you could redstone on the import buses. So, just however, I mean, there's tons of different ways you could set this up, and this is just one setup for this. Like I said, you could use thaumcraft golems exclusively if you wanted to. Okay, so let's take a look in here. How are we doing? We've got, you can't see exact numbers once you get over 1,000, but what you can do is look in here and say Terra 667. That means we got like 1,300 in here. So, very, very nice. So that's, I mean, that's pretty well automated. I just have to keep expanding it, which isn't too much of an issue. So, by the way, in our quest book, we do have a quest here with unclaimed rewards. Essential level emitters. Okay. So we're going to get 8 Fluix crystals for that. Alright. And for example, moving forward, of course for the primals, I still need aqua. And we may do something slightly different for aqua. Because aqua uses, I mean, we could automate with water bottles, no problem. Honestly, I might do milk buckets, because that would give me a good way to get Sano and Famus. Which wouldn't be too bad to have. Or maybe milk bottles. Automate it with milk bottles. That is a possibility. Originally I was thinking, because there's a, I can't remember the name of it, but there is actually a block that cooks up liquids. I think it's in this pack. Or is it witching gadgets that adds that? We may not have witching gadgets. I don't know, I'll have to look. But there's one of the add-ons for thaumcraft adds a block that you can pump liquids into, and it cooks those down directly. That's an easy way to get aqua, and also, you know, you can cook down lava and stuff like that for those aspects. But we may do milk bottles, because that way we get that Sano, we get that Famus. Don't have a whole lot of other ways. I mean, Sano, take a look at this, milk bottles, milk buckets, and cured zombie brains. I definitely don't want to do cured zombie brains. So we'll probably do milk bottles, I think, for aqua. And then air is pretty easy. There's a ton of different ways you can get this. Probably do like sunflowers, feathers, probably feathers. I don't have much other use for feathers. So that's a good way to get Volatus and air. Herba's pretty straightforward to get, so I'm not too worried about getting that herba. So what we've got, Ordo, Perdido, Terra, that would cover aqua, air, Ignis. is pretty easy to get as well, because we can use charcoal and get Ignis and Potentia, which is probably what we're going to do, because Potentia is something that we're going to use a lot of. So that's kind of my plan moving forward, is, that's how we're going to get those things. I know Potentia, we're going to need a lot of that. Ignis, I think we're going to need a lot of it. Metallum, for Metallum, let's see, there was the milk bucket, but we're going to do milk bottles. Milk bottles have it too. But what I'm probably going to do is do like a copper, because that way we get the permutatio, which I do want to get that. But I don't know. I'm gonna give it some thought and go through things and figure out exactly what we want to do. But I don't know. I'll update you guys as we progress with this. So, just a heads up. Now over here, this is the next area that we're going to be working on, and that is automating the alchemical constructs. However, to do that, I'm going to have to make some more alchemical constructs, and let me double check. I've got to make a bunch of this stuff like off camera. But alchemical construct, that was dark steel blocks, filter Essentia tubes, and then the alchemy catalyst. That was where it got expensive, because we're actually going to need a fair few of these. Because I've got to make a bunch of those, and then I've got to make alchemical furnaces and arcane alembics. Those actually aren't too expensive, if you recall. They just require a bit of V. So I'll just start popping over here until I get that filled out and kind of crafting these as we go. But that's the major thing that I want to get covered this episode, was just kind of handling keeping Essentia stocked and stuff. We don't really have time to start the next phase. So next episode, what we'll be doing is we will be automating these alchemical constructs. That way, I mean, technically I could go ahead and make the Essentia provider now. I could pull it off, because it's mainly just Salus Mundus, Coalescence Core, Diffusion Core, Pride Shard, Wrath Shard, Filter Essentia Tubes, ME Interface. All that stuff we have access to. It's fairly easy to make. But it does take Machina, Potentia, Permutatio, of course, Percantio and Ordo, we've got that. But it does take these other aspects, and I'd like to go ahead and just wait until next episode, because I'll get Machina, Potentia, and Permutatio automated, because those are three that we're going to be using a lot of. Machina, you do tend to use a lot of that when it comes to the higher end Thaumic Energistics, and we're going to need quite a few Essentia providers. And then we're also going to need matrices, mnemonic matrices, but these are fairly easy to craft. Iron, Amber, Zombie Brains, which we'll go over those next episode. But that's the main thing I wanted to get done this episode, is kind of go over the keeping that stuff stocked, and like I said, I'll expand it between this episode and next. Now, one thing I do want to show you guys, it only took, I don't know, I came back, I let the farming setup that we had last episode, I came back like 20 minutes after we set it up. Like, let it run for about 20 minutes, came back over and checked it. And I'll show you, I turned it off right then because we didn't need to run it anymore. Like 20 minutes, and it was like, okay, stop. But I'll show you what it has created in the course of about, I don't know, 20 minutes or something. I wasn't exactly timing it, but it was very, very quick. You'll notice it says offline. That's because I got it turned off. But if we take a look here, this actually got Minicio because this wasn't voiding. So I do have a void upgrade in this for like now. But this Minicio I'm actually going to... And the reason I have the void upgrade, like, yeah, Minicio's nice. We need lots of Minicio. But this is just a staging area. This isn't actually for production. So that's why I have this stuff just getting voided. And it's emptying out. We had a lot of crop sticks stuck in the output. A little over 4 stacks. So it was emptying those out. But we have a full drawer of Minicio. And I mean, this was backed up and spewing Minicio everywhere. That's when I added the void upgrade. I was like, okay, stop. But Minicio seeds, if you take a look, we take a look here at seeds. 10-10-10s, look at all those. We have enough to build a massive farm of 10-10-10 Minicio seeds. Minicio is something that we're going to have a fair few farms, to be perfectly honest. It's going to be a lot of farms dedicated to Minicio as well as Obsidian, which we'll get into that stuff fairly soon. We'll be setting up the farms. So this setup does work crazy fast. Like 20 minutes, you got 10-10-10, and you got plenty of seeds to build a massive farm, and you're set. So I just wanted to show you guys that real quick to kind of give you an update of what this had done, because it has just destroyed this. And we're set on 10, 10, 10 seeds, I think. So what I'll probably do is set up like a, I don't know, maybe somewhere over here there's going to be like a dedicated seed storage for all the crops that we have 10, 10, 10s. We'll keep like so many 10, 10, 10 seeds on hand. But that's just going to be kind of like a little storage library type area. It's not going to be plugged up to our AE system or anything like that. Nothing eccentric or exotic set up. It's just going to be a storage area. So, and we'll label everything and all that. But I kind of wanted to give you guys an update on that. I am probably going to change it over to an obsidian seed next. I think that is within our means. Or I may do the elemental seeds. But obsidian is just Manesio seeds, 4 compressed obsidian, and 4 Crucio essence, all within our means, in a runic altar with just a little bit of mana. So that makes obsidian seeds. So I may go ahead and get those up and going between this episode and next. And that way, next episode we're going to be working on thaumcraft a bit more, kind of getting some of the basis of automation done. But then maybe the following episode we might spend just a brief little amount of time over at the farming area, setting up a couple little small things for automation purposes. So, but anyways, I am going to end out this episode here. I know it's probably a couple minutes early, but you know, like I said, I've covered everything I wanted to cover, and no use dragging it on just for time aspect. Sometimes I'm over, sometimes I'm under. It's just whatever happens. But yeah, next episode we'll continue working with this and actually get in some automation, and we're going to get Thaumium automated. It's going to be great. Or that's the plan anyways. So, fun stuff. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Of course, if you guys have any questions or anything, do let me know, and I'll do my best to get those answered for you. Also, if you didn't watch the speed build, I know I mentioned it there. This thing is not set in stone. I know it's kind of blocky right now, but we're going to come through with micro blocks and stuff and clean that up and everything. And I can now expand jars as well. Which whenever I make my master list for all the different Essentia types and keeping up with those, I'm going to make sure and keep up with them on the jar shelves as well. To make sure that we have, you know, we've always got all the different Essentia types on a shelf somewhere just for storage. I mean, honestly, the jars, that's one thing about going with Thaumic Energistics. It's kind of a downside to it, is that you lose the beauty of having all these jars. Because, you know, you got all these different colors of Essentia, and when they're lined up, they look great together. Now, I will say, if we get to these bottom shelves and we start using these, I will probably have some extra Essentia, because I don't think there's enough Essentia to fill up all these shelves, but we'll kind of play that by ear and see how many shelves we actually need once I make the list and everything. So, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, as always, be sure to hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay up to date with when new videos come out. I hope to see you guys next time. Once again, if this video is coming out late, I do apologize. I mean, like I said, it's out of my control. It's YouTube is being a pain, so I know a lot of creators are kind of getting irritated with it. So, but anyways, I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys then.